it's not going to look exactly like this in possession. I would it'll be looking on the lineup card. It'll be a 4-2-3-1, but I think it'll probably shift into somewhat of a 4-2-2. Like the pivot just kind of will sit there, and then you'll have Gakpo, maybe Wirtz drifting out wide, or a fullback filling that space, and then you have Salah kind of getting up top with Ekitike. I can see something like that. Gakpo on the left and maybe Wirtz on the right when he drifts out. I'm not sure, but I think it might end up looking.
I mean, the fact that they're interested in offers must, like, for me, feels like Gakpo is just going to be starting there.
Well, also, and honestly, I always think when he's been on the left, he's looked very good, whether it's for his country or for Liverpool. I guess anytime he's been off the left, I think he's done pretty good.
And the idea of Ekitike, like I was saying, like a lot of the clips where you see him being like this mobile striker is him moving to the left. And so then you just naturally push Gakpo to the center, and he can do a job there. So like it's just so much flexibility. The midfield too is McAllister.
Gravenberch and McAllister. Yeah. And Szoboszlai is an interesting one here because I think he was almost like sort of a glue guy, if it's a basketball term we like using that, but I feel like he just kind of filled in the holes in and out of possession. Maybe he takes a deeper role. I still think there's going to be minutes for him at the 10, right? But I don't think that's his best position, especially next to a guy, whether it's Gravenberch or McAllister. I don't think you want someone who's not naturally a 6 next to a 10 playing as an 8. You know what I mean? I don't think the midfield has as much balance there. So I'm intrigued to see kind of what comes out of his role this year. But I mean, look at this team on paper. I don't even have to ask me a single question about who's going where.
Yeah. The only question, I guess, is like, is Alisson starting for sure?
For now. I think, he's still the best. I think it's probably one more year.
Yeah, I agree. This is definitely how I see them putting up. It's pretty gross. It's filthy. And obviously, like, in possession, you're probably looking at something more
Frimpong get forward.
Yeah, Frimpong, I think, is honestly going to be like here.
But then I think Wirtz is going to be able to drop into those spaces on the right.
You put him here, you put him here. Like,
he has a free role,
can kind of drop in deep.
It's
like this position. I think
it's going to be some
Szoboszlai. Like, this is a position I could totally see him coming in like the 60th.
If it starts moving like this,
and then you're just pushing these forward. Everybody's kind of like this. Would be my assumption. I think maybe these guys usually are like
this.
But this is, I mean, in possession, man, like, you're looking at just so much insane attacking depth. Like, how do you even defend that is a good question. I think now they've got a target, man.
Ekitike sort of shape. Yeah, that sort of shapes probably more towards the end of the game. Like you were saying, like, hey, we got to go get one here. Yeah. I think McAllister will have to stay a little deeper typically when they're building. But I think both fullbacks, that's where they like to live. And then Wirtz, I think you're going to have to rely on his football IQ to really fill in the blanks, right? And this is all just us speculating, right? Because we really don't know what it's going to look like. I do think the one
start necessarily.
I think Bradley's got a good shout. I think Bradley's going to be able to play a ton of minutes too. I think it all just depends on how they want to set up, right? But I can totally see a world. I think more than likely you're going to see a lot of Salah and Ekitike linking up. No shit.
100%.
Gakpo loves cutting in off the left. Maybe Kırkız likes making those underlapping runs a bit, overlap, mix it up. But again, he's probably going to be on that flank. Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to come down to the guy they paid a ton of money for as the number 10, but he's really good. So I think, again, they're going to look really dangerous. They're probably going to have a variety of ways to attack teams because, I mean, people don't really realize it was Slot because it was his first year and they won the league, but this is his setting the foundation year. Now he's really going to be able to open up his playbook a little bit more, if you will. We saw it with Chelsea at the Club World Cup. I think we're going to see it probably even more so with Liverpool. They're more comfortable with each other because they won the fucking league the way they played. So I think it's going to be really interesting. But I mean, just looking at the names on the team sheet, and they still can have more business to do because they have outgoings for some big money.
100%.
They're going to be dangerous, man. They're going to be really dangerous.
Super dangerous. I guess in terms of the style of play, the only thing that this kind of indicated with like all the signs they made is I feel like they're going to be more transitional, which is kind of going back to what they were doing. I just don't see them holding the ball as much. I think that Trent just allows you to do a lot more when you have a player like that in terms of holding the ball. And I think that honestly, Liverpool is at their best when they are a more not counterattack is not the right word, but more transitional team. And like I feel like in the Champions League in particular, like they weren't able to capitalize on a lot of that. And that's why they ultimately went out to PSG, is because they just got beat at essentially the thing that they had been doing best for 5-6 years. They just didn't do it as good. And I think that that's just like another wrinkle that they're going to add. Like obviously when they play smaller sides, they're going to hold the fucking ball. And like, it's going to be down to like Salah and Gakpo and Wirtz and all these guys to break down a low block. But I think in bigger games, like just the ability to be like, all right, we're just going to beat you guys on the counter. Because they can do that. They could totally do that.